Welcome, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Sarah Varney, Twilio's Chief Marketing Officer, and I want to welcome you to our very first virtual Signal. Since we gathered last together, we've witnessed unprecedented change. And while we bring you Signal this year virtually, one thing hasn't changed: our belief in the power of builders to tackle the most difficult challenges facing our world. And given what's happening right now with the global pandemic, recession, and our ongoing fight for racial justice, I believe it's never been more important to hold Signal right here in 2020 to celebrate, inspire, and educate the builders of the world to tackle the challenges facing our communities and our companies through the unique power of digital communications. In that spirit, Signal this year was redesigned to meet you in this new normal we are all experiencing. We have amazing customers, new technology, inspirational speakers like President Obama, and the ability to meet one-on-one with product experts and industry leaders, all delivered in a virtual format. And as a special thanks to our All Access attendees, we are happy to share a limited release version of Jeff's new book called Ask Your Developer. It's a playbook for how business leaders can better understand how software developers work and what motivates them, bringing together business leaders and developers to better execute in this new digital landscape. It's based on Jeff's experience as a developer turned CEO and his work with 200,000 companies building on top of Twilio's developer APIs. Ask Your Developer will be broadly available in January 2021, and all proceeds will go to organizations that help underrepresented populations learn to code. So with that, let's get started.
It's time for Signal.
欢迎参加 Signal.
It's Signal time.
Welcome.
Welcome to Signal.
Signal starts now.
Bienvenue à Signal. Welcome to Signal. Welcome to Signal.
I'm ready for Signal.
Welcome to Signal.
Добро пожаловать в Signal.
Hey everyone, welcome to Signal.
Welcome to Signal.
Welcome to Signal.
Welcome to Signal.
Signal starts now.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Jeff Lawson, co-founder and CEO of Twilio. I'm thrilled to gather together with all of you. I'm especially excited that as a virtual conference, we'll be reaching over 40,000 people, which is more than 10 times the attendance we had at last year's live event. We've got a fantastic keynote in store for you. We have major announcements. We'll be talking to incredible brands, including the CEO of Nike. We have a major new partnership we're excited to talk about, and we've got some great new products we're excited to share. And Signal 2020 is, we believe, the first conference ever with developer mode. Use the Twilio CLI to tail the keynote or redirect it to DevNull if that's what you want, and just play with our sample apps instead. You know, we started Twilio 12 years ago to empower builders like you with the world's most trusted platform for customer engagement. What began as a way for companies to make a voice call or send a text has now become a complete digital engagement platform. In the course of that time, we've seen rapid growth on the platform. We're now in 120 countries, and every year, nearly 1 trillion human interactions are powered by Twilio. In the last year alone, we've touched over 3 billion unique phone numbers, sent messages to over half of the world's email addresses, delivered nearly 3 billion minutes of video, all on a platform used and trusted by over 200,000 businesses, from startups to Fortune 500 companies. And the platform keeps getting better. We've made over 180,000 production deployments in the past year alone. But more recently, we've seen an unexpected set of use cases emerge. This year, as we have faced unprecedented challenges, the need for new innovation has been staggering, and it's been up to the builders. I want to share with you my point of view as COVID was unfolding in the United States back in March, specifically the weekend of March 13th. My inbox was filling up with emails from friends, partners, investors, executives across industries, and from businesses of all sizes. All knew of a developer who was building a thing. Video, distance learning, text notifications, helping keep patients out of hospitals, video visits, helping connect people with PPE, building contact centers to get help, rewiring 211 lines overnight. I was incredibly proud of the developers and the product owners in our community and at our customers' organizations because they stepped up. They stepped up and were using their skills to help in this time of uncertainty. Community members like Manishu Snoyer, a volunteer developer for schoolclosures.org, who built a contact center on Twilio in 1 week to help connect families and teachers with educational resources and even free tutoring when schools shut down. Or Martha Janicki, a product manager for the International Rescue Committee, who led a small team to quickly build a flex-powered hotline to deliver life-saving health and safety information over WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger to refugees and displaced people. And Damon Williams and Anadi Mishra from Ascension Health, who shipped a brand new telehealth experience using Twilio video, SMS-based appointment reminders, and chatbots. Developers, business leads, and product teams were all helping to create a massive digital acceleration to meet those shifting demands. But there's a lot more that's happened since March. Racial justice weighs heavily on our minds. And we've seen this community of socially minded developers answer that call as well. How? By building. Josh Levenger, developer and founder of open-source-activism.tech, built a call tool on Twilio that was used to power the campaigns of Justice for Big Floyd, Run with Ahmaud, and Stand with Bree. By connecting activists with local decision makers, the tool is advancing the effort to investigate persistent misconduct and hold those officers and police departments accountable. We see how our product can be used to create change, but we too are learning how we can help build a more racially equitable company. We've committed to recruit and develop talent to add Black representation at every level of Twilio. Partner with organizations like BetterUp to create an internal culture of inclusion through employee training and manager accountability. To provide grant funding to organizations working to ensure safe and fair elections in the United States, with a particular focus on get out the vote efforts among Black communities. As a company of builders, partnering with a community of builders, we are committed to using our digital platform to build a better, more just future together. And so really, what I've taken away from 2020 so far is that no matter how big the challenge, builders step up. It's the story of humanity. For Twilio, across all these customers, all these industries, governments, nonprofits, each building, innovating to power through 2020, 3 things have mattered more than anything. First, digital communications. The importance of using digital channels to build relationships and stay connected with your customers while you're socially distanced. Second, software agility. Enable developers to build quickly and reinvent on the fly as needed because your problems are changing so fast. And third, cloud scale. Leverage the cloud to support any workload anywhere in the world without the need to manage servers, hardware, or capacity. That's the takeaway. Digital engagement, software agility, cloud scale. These are the raw ingredients for what it takes to innovate, at any time, really, but now more than ever. These are what Twilio has always offered, and they've never been more important. That's why we believe that Twilio is the right platform for this new normal. For years at Signal, I've introduced new APIs for developers and said, we can't wait to see what you build. So let's start Signal off with a major new developer announcement. A key catalyst for developer innovation is the rollout of 5G networks. We've been preparing for this moment for years with the Twilio SuperSIM, our cellular connectivity product for IoT. Since we launched this, developers told us that the hardest part of building for IoT is the writing and managing of all the code running on the device. You need to connect it to the network, manage security, figure out how to perform software updates. If you've been building for IoT for some time, or even just a user of IoT devices, you know how hard this is to get right. And if you're a developer just getting started with IoT, it's downright overwhelming. We believe there's a much better way, and today we're announcing it. We call it Twilio Microvisor. Twilio Microvisor is a complete device connectivity platform that eliminates the complexity of building for IoT. Microvisor runs on the device and creates a secure, managed runtime with the intelligence to connect to different types of networks, including Wi-Fi and, of course, cellular via the Twilio SuperSIM. It takes care of seamless over-the-air firmware updates and so much more. Microvisor will pave the way for the next wave of IoT innovation, and we can't wait to see what you build and connect to the internet with the Microvisor. And while IoT and 5G are exciting trends, perhaps even more exciting is the revolution that we're seeing today in digital customer engagement. It's a trend we've long been on the ground floor of, powering digital disruptors like Lyft, Airbnb, and Stripe. And now, it's not just the startups that are creating digital innovation. We see every large enterprise prioritizing their digital transformation efforts. And leading enterprises like Morgan Stanley, Marks & Spencer, ING, U-Haul, Woolworths, Standard Chartered Bank, Delta Airlines, and more are trusting Twilio to help them on this journey. So one key message for today is that Twilio is here for the enterprise. Over the last 5 years, we've invested in the scale, security, and compliance of our platform. We've also built world-class customer support, professional services, and a vibrant ecosystem of partners to deliver everything enterprises need to be successful. During this crisis, the need for digital acceleration in the enterprise has never been more urgent. And perhaps no company has embraced this digital transformation more than Nike. A longtime customer of Twilio, Nike recently built their most innovative digital solution yet on the Twilio platform. This solution, built with Twilio Flex, allows retail employees to serve customers on digital channels from anywhere. I'm thrilled to invite the CEO of Nike, John Donahoe, to join us here today at Signal to tell us more about it and how they approach digital overall. Welcome, John.
It's great to be here, Jeff.
So Nike has been investing in digital for years, and you do an amazing job engaging your customers over a variety of channels. And I'm curious to hear, how have all those years of investment really set you up well for not just changing customer preferences, but now also the era of COVID?
Well, Jeff, as you know, Nike's invested in digital for years. I got to see it as a board member over the last 5-6 years. And we were on a path where our digital channels were going to be roughly 30% of our overall business, we thought, by 2023. And then boom, in March 15th, we closed 100% of our retail stores around the world. Retail is closed. So by definition, digital becomes 100% of our open for business. So consumers responded. Consumers started engaging with our digital products, both our digital commerce products, Nike.com, our Nike mobile app, our sneakers mobile app, as well as our activity apps, our Nike Training Club or Nike Running Club. And so all of a sudden that became the only way we were connecting with consumers. Now, what was fascinating was we also had 35,000 store employees. We call them store athletes that all of a sudden were at home. They couldn't come into the stores because the stores were closed. And this is where your platform played such an incredible role to help us stay close to consumers, because we had taken your platform and built an application on top where if a consumer was shopping on the mobile app and had a question, let's say they had watched episode 8 of The Last Dance and they want the same pair of Air Jordans that MJ was wearing during the episode, but they're on the mobile app and they can't remember which of two versions they are. They can simply ask a question, and then that question gets texted to one of our store athletes who are at their home. And our store athletes know our products so well. They love serving customers. And so they loved that fact that even though our physical stores are closed, they could help our digital customers by providing insights, advice, and education. And your platform is the one that enabled that. So it really allowed us to stay really connected with our consumer. We call our customers our consumers. And as a result, our digital business has just exploded. It's grown significantly. And now that physical retail is back open, our digital business continues to grow. And our store athletes continue to serve not only the consumers that are coming back into the store, but they also can serve and continue to serve our digital consumers. So it's a real win-win.
So, changing topics quickly. We've talked about how Nike has done a fantastic job of navigating COVID and dealing with change by adopting digital channels to stay connected with customers. But Nike has also been tremendously bold in taking stances on social issues over the years. And we've seen Nike be a champion for years of many causes, but most recently, Black Lives Matter. And I just read that Nike and the Jordan Wings program have committed to donating $140 million to support the Black community, which is just incredible. I'm curious to hear how, as an organization and as a leader and as a big company, you decide on the causes that you're really going to put your weight behind.
Well, Jeff, I think every company has to understand its own history, heritage, and role in society. And Nike has a very, I would say, distinct and proud history on this front. You know, in many ways, incredible Black elite athletes have been a large part of building Nike's brand. Michael Jordan, Bo Jackson, Tiger Woods, right? Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Serena Williams, I can go on. And Black culture has been a large part of the Nike brand, the Jordan brand. And so Nike's always, consistent with that heritage, had a strong external perspective around racial justice and around social justice. And so this spring, when the George Floyd incident and Black Lives Matter really came to the forefront, we knew we needed to continue to lead. And so the Just Don't Do It brand campaign was just to get that message out there, to inspire our own selves and inspire others to stand up. And that we felt a need and a responsibility to do that on behalf of our elite athletes, on behalf of our employee athletes, and on behalf of consumers.
Thank you, John. You know, I'm curious, what advice would you give to other leaders who are considering investing more deeply in digital channels and customer engagement broadly to compete in this digital economy?
Well, Jeff, I think every organization in the world is embracing digital transformation, right? And we all have no choice, right? It's how do I digitally connect with my consumers or my customers? How do I digitally engage with my employees? And how do I use digital technology to drive greater levels of productivity and efficiency so I can invest more in my consumers and in my employees? And digital transformation's hard. It can be quite intimidating. What I've tried to do and what I would advise others to try to do is don't get intimidated by the technology. The technology is the enabling factor. Go back to that end-to-end customer experience. Look at the entire experience your customer, your consumer in our case, has. Part of it's a direct engagement with the products, but an awful lot of it is a step before and after. And digital can be an opportunity to transform that experience end to end. It's not easy. And the prioritization has to be not just in what you're doing around your direct product, but in how you serve it, how you provide help and support. It may be how you get your products and services in the consideration set. But looking at that full end-to-end customer experience and then prioritizing where are the areas where digital technology, digital platforms can make the biggest impact in improving the consumer's experience. And that's certainly what we do day in and day out. It never, it's never, you're never there. We have a phrase, there is no finish line. And that's sort of how it feels. Our digital channels are doing very, very well. Our digital results are excellent. Yet I look at it and say, oh my goodness, there's so much opportunity to get better. And I think the companies that win are the ones that are going to engage in that digital transformation journey, do it with real aggressiveness and vigor and rigor, and also acknowledge and accept that it is not going to happen overnight. And it is more a marathon than a sprint, to use a sports analogy, and have the kind of commitment and resilience to stay with it.
Thank you, John. John Donahoe, everybody. We're really proud to be working with such a great company like Nike. The kind of digital change that we just heard about from John is something we're hearing from almost all of our customers across every industry. So we commissioned research with senior leaders at over 2,500 companies around the world to find out what's really happening. Unsurprisingly, 97% said that the pandemic has sped up their digital transformation. But even more surprisingly, they reported that on average, their digital plans accelerated by 6 years. All of that bureaucracy, red tape, pushback on your new idea, gone. Budget available. Suddenly, everyone has permission to innovate. We're now in the midst of the great digital acceleration. As we've worked with you, our customers, through the challenges of 2020, we've seen that there are 3 major emerging trends in digital acceleration. First, we see all types of business models moving from physical to digital. This is a trend that's been happening for 20 years, but massively accelerated in a year of lockdown, shelter in place, and social distancing. Second, we're seeing companies modernize their contact center and accelerate their migration from on-prem to the cloud. This natural evolution to the cloud has been fueled by the urgency to keep employees safe, empower them to work from home, and the need to support new channels that customers love, like messaging. And lastly, we're seeing companies take advantage of the incredible opportunities created by the new agile workforce. In a world where every employee is now digitally connected, whether at home or in the field, companies can now use this to reimagine their frontline customer engagement. These 3 trends are setting up businesses for an even more digitally driven future. So we're excited to dive deep on these today in our 3 episodes of the Keynote. So let's get to it. Here to talk to us about the shift from physical to digital, I'm pleased to introduce Michelle Grover, Twilio's Chief Information Officer.
Thank you, Jeff. This transformation from physical to digital has been occurring for the past 20 years or so, and it is a huge part of why Twilio was founded. Through the pandemic, though, we have seen a massive acceleration of this shift. Things that you and I used to take for granted, like catching up with friends, dinner at your favorite restaurant, or strolling in the mall for anything you might need, might not be possible for a very long time. This has created incredible pressure for companies to move their customer engagement from physical to digital. In fact, 95% of businesses that we surveyed are seeking new ways of engaging their customers as a result of COVID-19. Retail and health in particular have been forced to reinvent themselves. Retail companies are using clienteling, video, and contactless delivery to serve their customers while keeping customers and employees safe. We are seeing 1 in 3 customers using IVR and chat for the very first time. This shift to digital is here to stay. Studies show e-commerce adoption experienced a 2-year acceleration in a matter of months. And it's every type of company, from mom and pop stores to household names and 100-year-old institutions. Even companies like Galeries Lafayette, a high-end retail store in Paris that's been around since 1912, are now using video to create personal connections, even when it's not always possible to visit a store. Telehealth, just like retail, has had to transform a previously in-person experience to one where you get the right help at the right time when it's convenient for you. SMS and email and voice make it easy to schedule, set appointment reminders, and enable post-care monitoring. And video lets physicians conduct consultations from anywhere. The shift from physical to digital is not a passing phase. A recent survey suggests that 50% of consumers between the ages of 18 and 84 plan to use telehealth for physical and mental health post-COVID-19. Companies like Mount Sinai, a leading healthcare system provider in New York, are combining SMS and video to triage patients and provide information to specialists, all from the safety of a patient's home. Now let's go to Dave, Chief Product Officer at Mount Sinai Health System, and see how they've done it.
Thanks, Michelle. I'm Dave Kerwar, Chief Product Officer for Mount Sinai Health System in New York City. I'm excited to be here today to tell you about how Mount Sinai is transforming healthcare to be digitally driven and virtual first. We identified 3 experiences in healthcare that are fundamentally broken: the journey to find and access care, the journey to navigate the system in one's care plan, and the journey to pay bills. We are rebuilding those journeys with a focus on being mobile first and digital first. With Twilio and with our own development, we built and deployed a completely new digital front door for our services that seamlessly integrates how patients access, navigate, and pay for care. So imagine for a second a would-be patient, Lisa. She's on a flight from Los Angeles to New York and lands with a pain in her neck. She texts 474624, which spells out For Sinai. And we text her back a link leveraging Twilio to bring her into our bespoke developed platform, our digital front door. She taps Find Care Now, and after a few chatbot interactions, she's connected to one of our live navigators. After ruling out an emergency, she decides that the best option is to book. She's able to do that directly from chat, finding the right physician and tapping on the time that works best for her. Using Twilio, we can recognize when Lisa comes back into our platform based upon her cell phone number. And so we can offer her custom reminders and calls to actions based upon her care history. Hopefully this tells you a part about how we're building a platform that will revolutionize how patients access, navigate, and pay for care. We're happy to talk to any health system that wants to take a similar journey, and we are very pleased with our partnership with Twilio. Thanks for listening. Back to you, Michelle.
Thank you, Dave. Businesses across every industry have had to make the shift from physical to digital, using engagement channels like voice, SMS, email, and WhatsApp, but there's no place that we're seeing more disruption than with video. Initially, companies took the same video apps that we use for work meetings and tried to apply them to things like distance learning, healthcare, or clienteling. From my own meetings, most of the time, this experience could be so much better. The alternative has been to ask developers to build a custom video experience on top of WebRTC, a free open source standard. But what developers quickly find out is that free isn't actually free. All of the tooling required for signaling, logging, diagnostics, and more make WebRTC a heavy lift for developers. It's one of the reasons companies have had video so far out on their corporate roadmaps. We created Twilio Video to solve this problem. Twilio Video brings the magic of WebRTC without the headaches. Developers can still use WebRTC to rapidly iterate, create agile, secure video applications that work across browsers and devices. One of the benefits of Twilio Video are the quality controls we layer on top of WebRTC. Twilio Video solves the hard problems of video quality, scale, tooling, and latency, so developers can focus on creating exactly the right user experience anywhere in the world and trust that it'll work even in highly regulated environments. Whether you're building for telehealth, exam proctoring, wealth management, real estate, retail, whatever industry that you're in, you can build a great tailored video experience in a fraction of the time. Video is more relevant than ever. That's why we reported more than a 500% increase in daily Twilio video usage after the pandemic hit. And interest in Twilio Video has never been higher. So, if you want to create an awesome video experience and have been struggling with WebRTC, Twilio Video is the answer you've been looking for. I'm so excited about Twilio Video that I want every developer in the world to use it. So today, I'm incredibly excited to launch Twilio Video WebRTC Go, a 100% free version of Twilio Video for peer-to-peer use cases. Whether it's one-to-one clienteling, tutoring sessions, or many other use cases, with WebRTC Go, you can build and deploy video apps for peer-to-peer use cases, again, 100% free. WebRTC Go also includes signaling, limited logging, diagnostics, and up to 25 gigabytes of turn a month for Relay, all for free. To get you started in minutes, we will have open source quick deploy apps in iOS, Android, and React.js. So there's absolutely no reason for any new video app in the world not to be built on Twilio. Twilio Video WebRTC Go is available right now, and we can't wait to see what you build. Back to you, Jeff.
Thanks, Michelle. Yeah, Twilio Video and the rest of our digital engagement platform can really help you accelerate your shift from physical to digital. We're incredibly excited to help you on that journey, and we are looking forward to working with all of you. As consumers adopt digital channels, businesses must also change how they can serve their customers across those channels. We're seeing this transformation occur in the contact center. That's why I've invited Tony Lama, our VP of Contact Center Sales, to talk to you about how contact centers are in the midst of a generational shift. Tony?
Thanks, Jeff. And it's great to be here with you all. My name is Tony Lama, and I lead contact center sales and go-to-market here at Twilio. I joined the organization about 17 months ago after spending 22 years in the contact center technology space. And I'm excited to share with you how Twilio and Twilio Flex are modernizing the contact center. We all know that COVID caught many companies flat-footed. Many of you were stuck. Your customer care reps couldn't come to work, your phones were ringing off the hook, and your contact center vendors, well, They want to charge you a premium to support your remote workers. So after all these years of paying them for every move, add, and change order, they wanted to charge customers to help keep their businesses afloat. These vendors had their customers locked in while they scrambled to meet the needs of their own customers. And even if one of these vendors had moved you to the cloud at some point, adding a digital channel to offset rising call volumes is not something you could do easily, and certainly not with a few lines of code. They don't let you control your own roadmap. Michelle just shared how physical experiences are shifting to digital. Well, we've seen no greater acceleration to digital than in the contact center space. We're witnessing a complete generational shift in the way we do business and serve our customers. But 75% of you still rely on these on-prem technologies, and you may be struggling with what to do next. Now is not the time to do more of the same. Now is the time to say yes to modernization. That's why companies around the world have turned to Twilio Flex. Twilio Flex is the world's most modern and flexible cloud contact center platform, with everything you need to handle any change, whether that's responding to a crisis or planning ahead for seasonal spikes. In the past few months, we've seen Twilio Flex handle the unpredictable challenges of this moment. For example, back in February, most of us had never heard of contact tracing, much less the idea of using a contact center platform for contact tracing. But in a matter of days, developers used Twilio Flex to create contact tracing solutions and to power remote users across the globe, including New York City and the city of Chicago. These systems now reach more than 63 million citizens in the United States alone. That's the power of Twilio Flex. We know that most of you don't need a contact tracing solution, but just like the city of New York was able to say, yes, we can build that, Twilio Flex allows you to say yes to building new things and yes to transforming and modernizing your contact center to meet the ever-changing needs of your customers. Have you thought about what's the next thing your customers are going to ask you to do? And are you set up to say yes? So since March, we've seen customers like QVC Italia migrate from their voice-only on-prem contact centers and deploy an omni-channel, digital-first solution in just 5 days, handling over 1.1 million support minutes and over 42,000 WhatsApp messages per month. And we've also seen nonprofits like United Way modernize their contact center at a time when it mattered most. When the pandemic hit, United Way saw call volume spike 1,200%, with 60,000 people calling every day since March to gain access to critical information like how to apply for health insurance or unemployment. We're honored and excited to have Rachel Crossman, Senior Director of 211 from United Way Worldwide here to speak directly to all of you about their experience.
Thanks, Tony. I'm Rachel Crossman, the Senior Director for 211 at United Way Worldwide. 211 is a vital service leveraged by millions of people across the United States and Canada to get access to help and local resources. In the first few weeks of the pandemic, there are more than 2,500 staff and volunteers handling anywhere from 60 to 90,000 calls per day. So we're seeing at least double our call volume. We partnered with the Twilio.org team to deploy Autopilot. We were able to route callers through an FAQ so that we could answer common questions without having to use the resources of a live specialist. Using Autopilot analytics, we were able to track what callers were asking about and how well the tool was responding to them so that we could adjust and improve the client experience in real time. From there, we focused on deploying Twilio Flex to actually connect people who previously didn't have access to 211 to a 211 agent. For example, we started with Ohio, where there were 38 counties in which people could not dial 211 and get to a live agent. And we also built out a user-friendly interface. We embedded local and national resource information and an intake screen in order to help respond. Since we deployed that solution, thousands of people in Ohio have been connected with accurate information about the virus and the pandemic and have been connected to live help when they need it. Based on this foundation that we've built with Twilio Flex and Twilio Autopilot, we're now able to respond quickly and easily to other crises and emerging needs. We're so grateful for the partnership and support from Twilio. Thanks so much. Back to you.
Thank you, Rachel. We're continually in awe of the way our customers use Twilio Flex to make a difference. In less than 2 years, we've seen hundreds of companies like Shopify and HubSpot and Allianz modernize their contact centers with Twilio Flex to serve their customers. From the start, We built Flex as a programmable platform that allows you to deploy or augment a contact center quickly, connect with customers over any channel, completely change the UI, and harness AI for a highly tailored agent and caller experience. This adaptability makes Flex, well, flexible, which means it's the most future-proof contact center platform available today. And we aren't sitting still. Unlike on-prem software, our cloud-based platform gets better all the time. In fact, we've recently released well over 100 new features and major improvements. Support for WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger, Salesforce CTI integration, chat monitoring, transcripts and attachments, real-time queues to display agent workloads, insights into hold times and voice call quality, team views, and so much more. And we're just getting started. We also know that while we can build an amazing contact center, it takes a village. That's why we're so excited to launch the Twilio Flex ecosystem. We know our customers are looking to Twilio Flex to take on the largest and most complex contact center workloads out there. But they want to do that while continuing to use the best-of-breed solutions they've grown to love, such as workforce management or their CRM. Or perhaps they want to bring AI to the agent experience for automation of repeated tasks or next best action. The Twilio Flex ecosystem will give you access to over 30 validated partner solutions from partners such as Google, Salesforce, Zendesk, and Calabrio, just to name a few, all ready to help accelerate your projects. And if that's not enough, we know our customers look to technical experts with deep industry knowledge to help navigate bigger and more complex transformation projects. Our customers have found a lot of success with our partners. For example, Proficient in the US, Synergy in APAC, C20Y, and Sabio in EMEA. We're thrilled to announce a new addition to our Twilio Build Partner Program with our first global systems integrator, Deloitte Digital. Here to tell us more about this partnership is Eric Duffield, GM of Experience Management at Deloitte. Eric, welcome to Signal.
Thank you, Tony. On behalf of Deloitte Digital, we could not be more excited. As a global agency that designs, builds, and manages modern experiences that transform the Global 2000, joining forces with Twilio and the Twilio Build Partner Program can bring powerful capabilities for companies to enhance customer engagement. Our clients are competing on experience, and experiences that help win are unique. They're orchestrated and driven by communications. In light of recent events pushing the world more and more towards digital across every sector, we see the need to do this as very real and very urgent. We are embedding the entire Twilio product suite into our solutions, including Twilio Flex for contact centers. This will help clients reinvent marketing, sales, and service, and transform their customer engagement experience across industry sectors. Our Twilio practice will connect creativity with technology to offer global capabilities spanning design and development, and will leverage our integrated data and decisioning platform to deliver human experiences that drive business results. We are proud to work with Twilio to help our customers build the future of communications and customer engagement. And now, back to you, Tony.
Thank you, Eric. We're incredibly excited to have the team at Deloitte Digital help businesses harness the power of Twilio to build better customer engagement experiences and modernize their contact centers. The reality is, on-prem contact centers weren't cutting it last decade. Twilio Flex is the platform that allows you to innovate for today, tomorrow, and the next decade. We launched Twilio Flex to help you build for any contact center experience. We wanted to deliver the best of software, the cloud, and the power of developers to let you continuously innovate, even in these uncertain times. We've all needed to adapt quickly to meet this new normal, but we hope with Twilio as your trusted advisor, you don't just stop at normal. Back to you, Jeff.
Thanks, Tony. That is amazing. With Twilio Flex and our customer engagement platform, you can have the confidence and the freedom to innovate the way you serve your customers now and into the future. We've talked about customers moving from physical to digital and the modern contact center. So now let's talk about the other area where we're seeing massive change, the agile workforce. And there's no one better to talk about how to equip this new agile workforce than Simon Califf, Twilio's Senior Vice President and General Manager of Messaging. Simon?
Thanks, Jeff. As the pandemic has forced so many of us to work from home, it has also highlighted the importance of using digital tools to stay in touch and get our jobs done. That sounds obvious, right? We jump on a Zoom and adapt. But what about the millions of people whose jobs cannot be done with scheduled meetings? The workers like retail staff who serve customers as they walk through the doors, your cable tech who needs to schedule an appointment, or the food delivery professional that has to collaborate with the customer and the restaurant to ensure your meal arrives fresh and on time. These type of professionals, which are attached to tasks and services more than a desk or an office, is what is referred to as agile workers. They're your front line to great customer experience, and they are the ones that need these digital tools to stay in touch with customers. While digitally enabling these agile workers is not a new trend, the pandemic simply accelerated the need for that enablement. Earlier, we heard from Nike around how they embraced an agile workforce and used Twilio to do it. They are not alone. We're seeing many organizations, from retail to finance, from small startups to large enterprises, make the shift to an increasingly touchless and fully digital world. One of those organizations is Ernst & Young. As one of the big four accounting firms, Ernst & Young is a 150-year-old brand that has always had to have a remote-first mentality for its workforce and has constantly pushed itself to meet the needs of that workforce. When the pandemic hit, Ernst & Young was ready. Together with Twilio, they developed a new recruiting platform called GigNow that uses voice, video, and SMS to help Ernst & Young find, interview, and manage over 75,000 highly skilled gig contractor candidates a year, roughly 60% of which are distributed workers, with a fully remote team of 150 recruiters. Let's hear more about it from Ashir and Ray, some of the creative product leaders at Ernst & Young GigNow.
Thanks, Simon. I'm Ashir Shroff, the product leader for Ernst & Young's GigNow platform, where we're building a better working world. We started the journey by rethinking the candidate experience. We wanted to make it simple for candidates to find and access gigs that also provided flexibility to manage life's challenges like the global pandemic and the work from home world we all live in now. With Twilio's SendGrid, we implemented Job Digest email to match candidates to the best opportunities, meaning time spent applying for gigs goes down from 20 minutes to 20 seconds, and they can do it right from their couch. We also reinvented the recruiter and hiring manager experience to focus on quickly finding the best and brightest candidates for the right price. One example we implemented was a micro interview chatbot to quickly pre-qualify candidates automatically without involving the recruiter using Twilio SMS and Autopilot. Another big win has been live interviews. We let recruiters start the Twilio voice and video interview session right from the GigNow platform. We also automatically record, save, and transcribe it, making it easily searchable and shareable with the hiring managers. To accelerate the recruiting process, we have implemented AI matching to present candidates quickly to the hiring managers, helping speed up our hiring time by 63%, which means the best candidates are hired in days instead of weeks or months. EY and GigNow chose Twilio because we needed an all-in-one communications platform with enterprise scale. We hire in 50 countries and are growing, and we need to deliver global flexibility without sacrificing the quality of the hiring experience. And all that has paid off with significant cost savings of 30% after implementing GigNow. And the customer satisfaction of the redesigned candidate experience is at an all-time high of 88% thumbs up. Working with Twilio has been transformative. It lets us find the right contractor anytime, anywhere, while delivering unparalleled best-in-class hiring experience for a truly agile workforce. Back to you, Simon.
What an amazing solution that builds an incredible agile workforce and puts everyone on the front line of customer service. And they've seen incredible results. Cost savings of 20% by going direct while finding contractors. Customer satisfaction of 88% on the candidate experience. That's your welcome into Ernst & Young. And hiring times down from a month to just 14 days start to finish. This is not just about the pandemic. In the new normal, we'll need to have the agile workforce more digitally connected to customers than ever, on the latest channel, directly from their existing mobile device and in a way that's compliant. When agile workers on the front line of customer service cannot effectively engage customers, bad things happen. Delivery or installation windows get missed, sales opportunities are lost, customers feel ignored and leave. The world's biggest companies are already adjusting to empower their frontline team members with these types of tools. Customers like Morgan Stanley enable their wealth advisors to be available to high-value customers anywhere and anytime. Delivery apps like DoorDash invested early in P2P communications between delivery personnel and their customers, which made it easy to pivot to fully contactless deliveries, keeping their employees and their customers safe. We heard from John earlier about how Nike invested in digital workflows so in-store professionals can support digital customers at any time from anywhere. Nike's investment gave them the flexibility, and athletes could still service customers from personal devices even after shutting their stores. We need a new world of work, one that embraces the agile nature of work, from enabling every employee to engage with customers across digital channels to working from anywhere on any device. Evolving the frontline means customer service is no longer limited to when a customer walks through the door. Evolving the frontline means more people can keep their jobs. It means the cash register keeps ringing digitally. It means your employees can work anywhere and your business can react to changing environments at a moment's notice. What if, starting today, there was a way to empower your employees using the mobile phones they use every day? What if you could instantly provide a safe, secure, agile, private, and compliant app for your employees to engage with customers over multiple channels? And what if you could do it today with no costly custom app development or cycles? What if you could make every employee a frontline employee? That's why we're excited to announce Twilio Frontline. Frontline is a mobile app that provides a direct, messaging-based connection between your customer-facing employees and your consumers in a way that is safe, secure, private, and compliant. Now, when there is a problem or opportunity on the front line, communications can happen instantly. This drives greater sales, higher customer satisfaction, and lower costs through more efficient operations. Twilio Frontline has the features you need out of the box for rapid deployment. It's single sign-on ready, integrates with your CRM, and supports all the little details that make or break a phenomenal user experience. Things like quick replies, emoji and media support, built-in notifications, and the ability to direct incoming message to available employees. Twilio Frontline is available today in private beta with support for chat, SMS, and WhatsApp. We will continue to add more and more channels, so wherever your employees are working from or wherever your customers are, Twilio Frontline is a digital relationship builder for everyone. To apply, go to twilio.com/frontline. And we believe this is just the beginning. One of the questions we ask at Twilio is, wouldn't companies serve customers better if every employee, and I stress, every employee, was connected to the front line? From the delivery professional to the CEO, we believe the answer is yes, and that over time, Frontline can evolve into a new way for employees to engage more effectively with customers and each other. And now, back to you, Jeff, to wrap us up.
Thank you, Simon. I'm so excited about Twilio Frontline. You know, just as COVID has accelerated digital engagement, the pandemic has also accelerated our responsibility to help each other as companies and as individuals. We're all neighbors together in this global community, not just taking care of ourselves, but also helping each other. We depend on each other. Giving and volunteering allows us to give back to our communities. And when we do that together, it helps us feel more connected in this time of isolation, both to our communities and to our coworkers. As a company, we've pledged 1% of our equity to do good. And last year, we also founded a new program to provide even more support to our employees who want to make a positive impact. We call it We Pledge. The We Pledge program makes it easy for Twilions to make a personal 1% pledge to do good with their time, their money, or even their equity. And we give resources to help them find opportunities or navigate the challenges of donating equity. And so far, over 1,000 Twilions have taken the pledge and personally donated over $1 million and contributed over 6,000 of their hours in service of their communities. But we're not alone. Other companies also feel the weight of responsibility and the opportunity to be good neighbors. So we've open sourced the playbook. And today I'm excited to announce that Atlassian, Zoom, and Okta have also joined the We Pledge movement. Together, these organizations will help over 13,000 employees to create positive impact in our communities. But even if your company hasn't joined We Pledge yet, we want to help you take the pledge individually. Taking the pledge is a commitment to give 1% of your time, money, or equity to help the causes that you care about. And when you do, Twilio is here to support you. For individuals who join We Pledge by the end of this year, Twilio will donate $1 million to the causes you care about. We'll also give you easy ways to donate and volunteer in case you're looking for inspiration. And even though time is tight for some people and money is tight for others, we've seen Twilions be creative in finding ways to participate. So today, I invite you to join this movement too. Together, we can accelerate our impact and see how our actions can add up to a stronger, more connected community. To take the pledge, text PLEDGE to 44663 or visit wepledge.org. When you sign up today, we'll donate $100 to a cause that you choose. As we close our keynote at Open Signal, I want to thank you and welcome you all. This is a challenging time, but with everything I've seen so far from our ecosystem, I'm optimistic about the future. As business leaders, employees, and developers, we can help lead our companies through this digital acceleration across the shift from physical to digital, the modern contact center, and the new agile workforce. There's an opportunity to innovate and set our companies up for the next decade of digital success. We've created a fantastic agenda for you, from technical sessions, live streams with Signal TV, a digital concierge powered by Flex, and the ability to connect directly with Twilio employees. We want you to walk away inspired and equipped to create and build. But hold on, I think we forgot something. Oh yeah, this wouldn't be a Twilio event if we didn't do some coding in the keynote, now would it? So don't worry, I've got my coding gloves ready. Let's do it. So if you're a developer like me, you've been paying attention to OpenAI. GPT-3 is one of the main pieces of technology behind OpenAI's API. It's huge right now in the developer community because it's a machine learning model that's trained on 175 billion parameters across the entirety of human knowledge. All that training makes it good, really good, at predicting text based on input. But I'm a developer, so I had to know, is it good enough to help me write some code, even if it's just a few lines? Which got me thinking about Twiml, the Twilio code that you write when you respond to incoming calls and messages. We shipped Twiml 12 years ago, and it is such a powerful language that people still use it to build great, amazing customer experiences using just a few lines of code. So I got early access to OpenAI's API so I could give this a shot. So I'll start by confirming that I can use OpenAI's API to generate some Twiml. Then I will deploy a website so all of you can use it to build some apps yourself. And I think we'll call it Twilio-matic. Ready? Let's get started. I've written a few prompts here to get us started. Where were the 1992 Olympics held? What were all the colors in the rainbow? These first few lines establish the Q&A format that I want to use. And so now what if I want to add another question like, who was the first computer scientist? So I'm going to add another Q line here and just ask it, who was the first computer scientist? Question mark. And now I'm going to hit submit. And OpenAI does its work, and it says the first computer scientist was Ada Lovelace. Nice. OpenAI used its existing knowledge to both look up the answer to my question, essentially, and also to figure out the Q&A format that we're using. But here's the question, does it actually know TWIML? Okay, let's try it out. So, write a Twilio app about Ada Lovelace. Okay, no, it doesn't yet know about TWIML. But here's the thing, because it scoured the internet and has seen code samples of every variety in that corpus of data, if we add a few more prompts, we'll point it in the direction of TWIML and help OpenAI's API understand just enough TWIML to power Twilio-matic. So I'm going to add a few more prompts here. I'm going to start by adding a Twilio prompt that is, write me a Twilio app that says, hello world, classic. And I can give it an answer, and I'm going to write some TWIML here, so we start with my response. And as a habit, I always open and close my tags at the same time. You can debate if that's wise or not. Response, say, I'm sure this will be a firestorm about that one. Say, hello world. Exclamation point. I always have to have an exclamation point. Okay, now let's give it a few more examples. So I'm going to do another one. Write me a Twilio app that, plays classical music. We've got a classical music sample right in our docs. So I'm going to start a response. And this time I'm going to use play, tag, play. And now I'm going to have it play HPS, demo.twilio.com/docs/classic.mp3. Great, so that's how you do a play tag. And I'll do one more here. We'll use a messaging example. So, build me a Twilio app that, texts me a Star Wars quote. And I'll give it an example of how to do that with a response and a message. And how about do or do not? There is no try. All right, so there we go. So now we've got our prompts, and we've got essentially the starter dough that we need to bake some new Twilio apps here. Okay, so now let's take this. I'm going to copy all of our prompts here, and I'm going to now go over to my VS Code environment. And in VS Code, I've got a bunch of prompts, and I'm going to add these prompts that I've got to the beginning of my document here. And now I'm going to save my prompts. And these are the prompts that I wrote earlier with some other prompts that are going to help train OpenAI on this TWIML code generation. All right, so now it's time to deploy the code and see if it works and test it out. So I'm going to use the Twilio CLI to deploy it to the Twilio serverless environment. So I'm going to say Twilio serverless deploy. Hit return, okay, now it's gonna do its building, uploading functions, uploading assets, and any second now, wait for it, there we go, activating deployment, boom. Now I just click on my index.html document, command click that is, and I click, oh yes, I know, security, etc. There we go, boom, there we go, my deployed web app. All right, fantastic. Now it's time to ask it to build something useful. So how about, this is a lead up here to a big, important election here in the United States. So let's write an app that says, write me an app with instructions on how to register to vote. Great. And I'm going to click generate. And now it's going to go combine that with all my other prompts, hit the API for OpenAI, and come back, hopefully, with a TWIML app. Let's see if it works. There we go. My code is ready. Awesome. Write me an app with instructions on how to vote. All right, so now what I'm going to do, you can see it gave me some instructions here on how to provision a phone number. So I'm going to go back to my terminal. I'm going to provision a phone number on my account for this new app. There we are. I can pick which one I want. How about I don't know. Let's see. Florida. That's an important state in the election. How about that one? All right. It always seems to come down to Florida. Where are we here? Florida. There we are. Are you sure you want to? Yes, let's do it. Great, we got our new phone number. All right, fantastic. Now I'm going to use the command line to assign the URL of the app I just built for Twilio-matic, from Twilio-matic to that phone number that I just got. So I'm going to run this, but one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to replace that, replace the variable that's in here with the actual phone number we just bought, this 850 area code phone number, and I'm going to add that so I can update with the new URL. And now I'm going to run that. There we are. We set it up. Fantastic. So now let's try it out. I wonder if, after a career of writing code on stage, I can finally just replace myself with some AI and retire the coding gloves. Let's find out. All right, I'm going to send a message to 850-808-7490. And I'm going to ask it, where can I vote? And what I get back is go to https://vote.gov to register to vote. It did get it right. It wrote some valid TWIML code, and it did tell me where to go, how to register to vote. So, well, after all that prompting, I guess technically it fulfills the requirements I gave it. You can go to twiliomatic.dev, type in your own idea for a Twilio app, and see what Twiliomatic dreams up for you. Isn't that amazing, using AI to build Twilio apps? Unbelievable. All right. Through Twilio's customer engagement platform and the investments that we are making with IoT, video, Flex, Frontline, and so much more, we want to make it easier than ever for you to engage your customers wherever they are, whether it's in their homes practicing social distancing, or as we emerge stronger after this pandemic has passed. But one thing is certain, great digital engagement is becoming even more critical to thrive. So from every employee at Twilio, we want to be your trusted partners to help you be successful in this journey. Thank you for joining. Stay safe, be well, and enjoy Signal.